Kristen Henning represented Black youth accused of crimes in Washington, D.C. for more than 20 years. Her new book is called The Rage of Innocence: How America Criminalizes Black Youth. Kristen Henning joining us live this morning to talk about it. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So what has your experience and your research shown you about the different ways Black children and white children are treated in the criminal justice system, and who is committing the crimes versus who is being prosecuted for crime?
Yes. So in over 25 years of representing children in the nation's capital, I have literally represented only 4 white children. And so that would lead you to believe either Washington, D.C. has no white kids or that white children don't commit crimes. And the research simply, just does not bear that out. We have a deep-seated fear of Black children in our country. And so we see that Black children are criminalized for normal adolescent behaviors, playing in the park, laughing, playing, engaging on social media. They're criminalized for the music that they listen to and the clothes that they wear. And then we also see that there is an extraordinary hyper surveillance and over policing of Black children in particular. And then once children are arrested and referred to the juvenile legal system, they are not given the rehabilitative responses that white children are given when they make a mistake, right? And so the research just shows that it is very traumatic. The over-policing of Black children is traumatic, and young people in heavily surveilled neighborhoods who experience high rates of fear, anxiety, depression, hopelessness as a result of that policing.
So talk more about those traumatic effects in the long term on Black children because of the over-policing.
Yeah, I was watching your earlier segment, and we all want to be safe, right? We all want public safety. We don't want violent crime. And here's what the research shows, though: when we over-police, right? Over-police, especially during those adolescent years, when the young person's views about law and law enforcement become fixed in our minds, we're doing a real disservice to society and to Black youth. So young people who have negative encounters with the police early in their life really begin to question whether or not they can trust law enforcement, whether they can cooperate with law enforcement, and whether it makes sense to even participate in mainstream society. And so the research shows that we actually increase crime by over-policing during those adolescent years. And the mental health consequences are really significant on young people. Extended periods of stress and trauma during young years lead to poor physical health outcomes, right? Like early deaths, ulcers, diabetes, all kinds of things that really undermine the well-being and the health of our community.
This past week marks 7 years since a Chicago police officer murdered Laquan McDonald. You mentioned that case in your book. What did you take away from the media coverage surrounding Laquan McDonald?
Several things. One is that whenever there is a police shooting, there is sort of a rally to demonize that Black child. Right? This notion that somehow prior criminal behavior, right? A prior arrest, not just Laquan, but like any young Black child, the effort is to dehumanize them, demonize them as a threat when they're not. And there's also, there's no sense of accountability. It took years to get any kind of recognition that Laquan should never have been shot or killed on that day. And I think the third thing I would say, that this pattern of demonizing demonizing the Black child who gets shot and honoring and praising the police officer really just further embeds the fears that we have about Black children. It instills in the American psyche that Black children are dangerous and a threat when they're not. And so that means that it's not just police officers, but all of us in society then began to fear Black adolescents.
And so you said that you didn't write this book out of pure intellectual curiosity, but you wrote it because you want action. What does reform look like for you? Because, you know, and that is a big question because there's so many facets to this in terms of how children are treated in schools, with policing, in the courts, and ultimately with the law. What do you want to change?
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, maybe I'll just give you like sort of four broad categories. One of which is the need to radically reduce the footprint of police officers in the lives of children. And that's not as radical as it sounds. It just means that we need to focus our law enforcement efforts and resources on that violent crime, and then make sure we don't have police officers in places where they're not trained and equipped to be. And so it means in the school context that you mentioned, it means replacing law enforcement, at least the day-to-day presence of law enforcement, with more mental health counselors, with social workers, with vocational experts, and even in communities where there is violence, with violence interrupters and credible messengers. And when, a second broad category though, is that when policing is necessary with young people, then we need to have developmentally appropriate policing, right? So officers need to be trained on adolescent development, de-escalation strategies, and the unique ways in which our racial biases cause us to interpret or misinterpret normal adolescent impulsive emotional responses as a threat when they're associated with a Black child. So those are some ideas.
Kristen Henning, thank you so much for joining us. A lot to think about there. You can find her new book, The Rage of Innocence, wherever you buy your books.